Welcome to this explainer. Look, when we typically think about aging, it's so easy to picture it as just a tedious decline in health, right? But today, I want you to toss that idea right out the window. We're going to decode the incredible ecosystem of Japanese longevity. It proves that living past 100 isn't some random genetic lottery, but a highly structured, reproducible reality. In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how an entire society has engineered a way of life that makes extreme, healthy longevity a daily reality rather than just a rare exception. Let's kick things off with a staggering number, 99,763. This data comes straight from the Japanese Ministry of Health as of last September. We're talking about almost 100,000 centenarians, folks over the age of 100, currently living and thriving in Japan. I mean, a record-breaking number like this really makes your jaw drop, doesn't it? It forces us to ask, how far can the biological limits of the human body truly be pushed?
Section 1. The myth of genetics. Genes versus environment.
You know, it's a totally natural reflex to just assume these centenarians simply won the genetic lottery. We love to blame or credit our DNA. But late 19th century Hawaiian migration data tells a completely different story. When Japanese citizens migrated to Hawaii, you'd think their superior genetics would keep them slim and long-living, right? Well, actually, scratch that. Medical data shows the exact opposite. These Japanese migrants quickly adopted the high obesity rates of the local Hawaiians, perhaps indulging just a bit too much in those heavy local island diets. They lost their homeland longevity advantages almost immediately. So what does this all mean? It definitively proves that your daily environment and your habits dictate your health far more than your DNA ever could. You are the master of your health, not your genes.
Moving right along to Section 2, the dining table philosophy. Microhabits.
So at the Japanese dinner table, the focus isn't on heavy sauces or slathering food in butter. It's a beautifully minimalistic approach. They focus on eating fresh food, separated out across 5 small plates to really honor the natural flavors of the ingredients. And this perfectly sets up the mechanics of Hara Hachi Bu, which is the daily mindful habit of stopping your meal before you're completely full. You actively put your chopsticks down when you're about 80% full. You chew every single bite roughly 15 times, and you eat slowly enough to give your brain that crucial 20-minute window to actually receive the signal that your stomach is satisfied. This tiny microhabit drastically reduces your digestive load, fights obesity, and practically eliminates acid reflux. The medical results? Okinawa residents who follow this cut their risk of prostate, colon, and breast cancer by a massive 50% compared to the rest of the country. Slashing your cancer risk in half just by changing how you pace your dinner, that is absolutely phenomenal.
And to wash that down, they rely on a national drink that acts as an absolute neurological shield, green tea. If we dig into the data, drinking just 1 cup a day doesn't show a massive change. But step it up to 3 cups and you get a 3% reduction in age-related white matter damage in the brain. Now look at the high end. Escalating to a consistent 7 or 8 cups daily results in a 6% reduction in brain damage. It's a spectacular daily defense mechanism for your mind.
Next up, Section 3, Daily Movement and Recovery. Low-intensity consistency.
Stepping away from the table, we find that the Japanese approach to physical fitness completely shuns those intense, exhausting gym workouts. You're not going to see them absolutely draining themselves with high-intensity interval training every single day. Instead, they seamlessly weave low-intensity movement right into their daily routines, walking to the train station, pulling weeds out in the garden, or doing the classic radio taiso morning stretching routines. It is all about purposeful, gentle motion, and the macro data backs this up perfectly. Japan's average systolic blood pressure actually dropped between the years 1956 and 2001. Think about that for a second. Despite having a rapidly aging population, their average blood pressure went down. That entirely shatters the myth that getting older automatically means your blood pressure has to skyrocket.
For physical recovery, they turn to onsens, which is this amazing cultural practice of soaking in natural hot springs. Unlike a Western hot tub, which is mostly used for weekend parties, these mineral-rich waters actively expand your capillaries and send your blood circulation through the roof. And hey, this isn't just about feeling relaxed. The medical benefits are jaw-dropping. Regular onsen soaking actively reduces your stroke risk by 26% and drops your heart attack risk by an astonishing 35%. It's quite literally a life-saving soak.
Let's pivot to Section 4, Purpose and Community Ties, the Inner Fire.
Now, this level of longevity requires both an inner and outer framework. Internally, there's Ikigai, a profound inner drive to get out of bed in the morning with real enthusiasm. Whether that's passing down knowledge to your grandchildren, making beautiful art, or meticulously tending to a small garden. Science proves that having this clear internal fire helps you live a much longer, more fulfilled life. But you can't maintain that fire alone. Modern medicine warns us about the lethal nature of isolation. Being lonely and socially isolated can physically ravage your body as severely as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That is a terrifying statistic. It makes the Japanese approach to community not just some nice cultural quirk, but an actual life-saving medical intervention.
To combat the toxicity of loneliness, Japanese culture deeply fosters what are called moai groups. These are lifelong social support networks. These people eat together, they converse every single day, and they even pool their financial resources to support each other when times get tough. This ensures that every single individual has an unbreakable emotional and financial safety net. You always belong somewhere, which is a brilliant stabilizer for your emotional health.
Moving out to the big picture. Section 5. Proactive national health policies, the macro level.
Because let's be honest, individual habits are great, but when the entire society is engineered to support them, you get a miracle. Take the 2008 Metabo Law. It sounds kind of intense, mandating periodic waist measurements for citizens between 40 and 74. But here is the genius part. It makes companies legally responsible for their employees' health interventions. Workplaces integrate health tracking apps, and if someone's waistline exceeds the healthy standard, the company provides immediate health consultations. It forces corporate society to intercept metabolic issues way before they ever escalate into chronic, long-term diseases.
Thanks to these proactive laws, combined with incredibly strict nutritional standards for school lunches, Japan's obesity rate sits at an incredibly low 4.5%. Compare that to the United States, which is up at 42%. Wow! That massive difference is proof that Japan's preventative healthcare system is working at absolute peak efficiency.
All right, our final piece of the puzzle, Section 6, Rethinking the Aging Society, the TMIG model.
As the global pioneer of the super-age society, where over 21% of the population is over the age of 65, Japan really had to rethink everything from the ground up. To handle this unprecedented situation, the Tokyo Metropolitan Institute of Gerontology, or TMIG, pioneered a localized 4-tier model. It completely pivots the medical focus from just treating sick people in hospitals to proactively preventing frailty in the first place. They use smart home tech and local networks to keep people independent. First up is priority home care, then neighborhood day centers, then community rehab. Moving someone to a nursing home is strictly the absolute last resort. This maintains incredible dignity for the elderly and saves the medical system an absolute fortune.
So, when you zoom out, all of these elements form one beautifully interconnected ecosystem. You've got the 80% diet rule and fermented foods, combining with gentle daily gardening and onsen recovery. Those physical habits are locked in by Ikigai and unbreakable community connections. And finally, the whole shebang is wrapped up in proactive health policies and modern smart technology. It's an airtight system for a healthy life.
I absolutely love this concept. This quote profoundly reframes the entire explainer. It reminds us that if we build the right ecosystem and provide the right opportunities, older generations aren't a crisis. They are an incredible asset. An asset who can continually contribute to society and pass down invaluable, lifelong knowledge to the younger generations.
Since we've proven today through hard data that these aren't just Japanese traits, but human habits you can adopt right now at your own dinner table or in your own neighborhood, the only question left is up to you. Will you view aging as an inevitable decline, or will you apply these lessons to redefine your own future? Think about it and start taking control of your ecosystem today.